it gave way to, Underworld, Blade, a lot of those type of films. The whole Blade Trinity for sure, kind of set the tone for like the modern day vampire, how it was looked upon as like a cool vampire. Christopher Lee, right? It was how many?
Yeah, Christopher Lee.
Was this your first time seeing this movie, James?
For me?
Yeah.
No, I've seen it a couple times actually.
I told you, man, last week. I said I put money. There's no way James has not seen this movie at least once in his life already.
I thought maybe you hadn't seen it. I was kind of unsure. I was like, oh, it might be too long.
No, I think I probably watched it at least. Well, when it was on, I know it was on. They just took it off of Netflix, didn't they? Like,
not that
within
long
this
ago.
year.
Yeah.
Like, well, a couple of months ago, maybe. Yeah. And I know it was on Netflix for a minute, for like maybe it was on for a while.
So you've seen it recently?
Yeah. So I watched it within the last year on Netflix, probably 2 or 3 times.
Cool. Dang, multiple times. That's awesome.
Yeah, probably 2 times within the last year when it was on Netflix.
What'd you think, man? Obviously, you liked it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, like what you said. They kind of destroy those tropes of vampires, or what we have been
taught to believe
told.
About vampires.
Yeah, taught to believe about what is harmful to a vampire, or just the history of vampires and what everything about them. But I liked Brad Pitt's character. So he really didn't shower like throughout the whole thing.
I guess he's not a fan of showering in general, and I've heard a rumor that was why that was kind of a barrier between him and Angelina, where she said that he kind of like he would smell sometimes, specifically like a sheepdog is what she said.
Wow.
That's crazy. I was thinking, like he's in character for the movie because he's like a vampire, he looks old and dusty.
That's kind of weird. That's bizarre, but hey, dude, whatever, bro. Maybe he has a phobia for water because he's a fucking alien like Signs.
He is Brad Pitt, dude. How funny is that? That like one of the most sought after males in the world doesn't like showering.
He's really Tyler Durden in real life.
Yeah.
That's really him.
Do not fuck with us.
Yeah. I repeat, that's really him. His name is Robert Paulson.
But continue, James.
Oh no, I really like the story. I wanted to know more about when Tom Cruise's character. It's Lestat, right?
Yes.
I wanted to know more about his the history of him. But I've never seen what's the sequel? It's supposed to be the sequel to this, right?
Queen of the Damned.
I've never seen that one.
So I haven't read the books, but I know of Anne Rice's work, and there is a third book just called Lestat, and I think that's where we can find our answers of kind of like in his Lestat origins, because he kind of gives you a little picture of how he says and I'm going to give you the choice of something I was never given. So it kind of feels like he was forced to become a vampire without choice, and he gives Louis' character, Brad Pitt's character, the choice of wanting to become a vampire after losing his fucking family. So, and he even says like it's like a touchy subject for him when he says like I come from France and so did the one who made me, and he's like, you know about this place? He's like, why should I know these things? Do you know them? Like, he doesn't fucking know. He just knows that he's a vampire now. It probably just fucked with him. Like, now he has to live the rest of his life as a vampire on Earth. Roman for eternity. You know.
But yeah, that was I don't know. I was just so intrigued. I want to know more about the history of all of it. And then when they were in France, right? When they ran into Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Yeah, and how they had their own little. That was pretty cool. It was pretty crazy, not cool, but they were killing the lady right in front of everybody, and they thought it was a part. They thought it was a part of the act.
It's vampires pretending to be humans, pretending to be vampires.
But do you notice? Did you guys notice when the show's over and they close the curtains, when all the regular people are walking out, a lot of them look very uncomfortable,
disgusted, and they're very like in shock.
Yeah, where they're just like, "What did we just watch?"
Yeah, because it kind of like you can kind of feel that dark and like tone where like, okay, maybe they really did kill her, you know, but it's supposed to be like a shock, and they really did, you know. What's his name? Stephen Ray Santiago. He's a really good thespian vampire in the movie. He plays a really good like fucking Death. That's his name, right? His name is Death on the for the act or whatever. But I felt like his character needed more credit, dude. Like he was the one who called out Brad Pitt for all his shit for trying to, you know, kill Lestat, because his special power was to read minds. Mm-hmm. He can hear what you're thinking, because each vampire had a different gift. The dark gift is different for each of us. That's what Lestat said. So Lestat could read your thoughts, because he actually told him at one of the parties that they went to where they killed the poodles. He's like, read your thoughts, and he couldn't do it. So to find another vampire that can hear everything you're saying, you know, that's why he was thinking about the time he killed Lestat, and Santiago heard him talking about how he killed him, and he said, you know, I'm not going to say his name, and Santiago said out loud, say his name, you know, so he was calling him out. He already knew that he killed somebody, but I feel like that guy doesn't get as much attention in the movie, you know. He created a lot of fucking bullshit for Louis, for sure. Mm-hmm. He was kind of a jerk, but he's good. That's the same guy from V for Vendetta, if you guys didn't know that. He's one of the detectives.
Oh.
The one that discovers the stuff about 3 Walters.
He's a little younger, obviously.
Yes.
Interesting. But yeah, Santiago was also like pretty fast and like agile.
He was.
When they fight later.
He can teleport like Sub-Zero. What are your thoughts on the film, Wes?
It's been a long time since I watched this, at least all the way through. At least 3 years since I've seen it.
It's a long movie.
But it's really good, dude. It has a great cast. I could see why people would be like, think it's weird that they would cast Tom Cruise in a role like this, because he's really, even since then, he really hasn't done anything so far out of his range.
Yeah, and I think he did really well in this movie.
Yeah,
because Lestat is kind of like a psychopath too, and he's there, dude. Like,
yeah, he's a predator for sure. Like,
for sure, yeah.
Somebody not to be taken lightly, and that comes across on screen. You know what I mean? You forget that it's Tom Cruise, and he just seems like a threat, and you're scared for everybody he's around. You know what I mean? Where he just like fucking
kills whores,
kills that rat like nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
At the dinner table,
and he just drains his fucking blood into the cup.
Yeah, oh man, when that happens, you're just like, what the fuck? It's like, oh yeah, the blood turns cold so fast, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like nothing, dude.
God kills indiscriminate, like I kill indiscriminate.
I do know he did a lot of research, because he was super offended with Anne Rice's reaction to his casting.
Oh, really? Out of spite, he did his best.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I gotta prove her wrong." You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So he went to all of everywhere that they were gonna shoot. He went and visited. He studied like the fashion of the time that that the majority of the movie takes place. He even watched like fucked up animal videos, like predatory videos, like of
to how to stalk
like
prey.
lions killing fucking zebras and shit. and he kind of did this metamorphosis to himself where that all kind of is being shown on screen, where he stalks his victims.
Yeah, it makes sense now how he would, after he killed that one working girl in New Orleans, and he came up and he had blood still on his face, reminiscent of like when a lion kills a zebra. He was just out for his prey or whatever.
And it takes her a while to even realize what had happened, where she's still like turned on and doesn't understand, you know what I mean? Like, and then she looks down and sees that he's bitten her.
Yeah, he bit your boobie.
Yeah, and she's just bleeding everywhere. That's so disturbing, man.
It's kind of, when I first seen it as a teenager, I didn't understand what the fuck was even going on. And I was like, oh shit, she's bleeding from her boob.
Yeah.
He bit her fucking boob. And the first thing I thought was, how did you not feel that?
Yeah, it should have been a crazy pressure, right?
Yeah, and then, I didn't know about her being like, on drugs and drinking, and I need a priest.
She just thought it was some sadomasochist, like, hardcore stuff.
American Psycho, dude. She was in Resident Evil. She's the one that gets her head stuck in the elevator.
Oh yeah, in the first couple minutes.
Yeah, she gets
killed
off. Yeah, dude, that's her.
Wow, what a callback.
Yeah, I always saw her like, when I see that film, those two films, I'm like, hey, that's the one from I Need a Priest.
And going back to my thoughts on the film, I really like this one because a lot of vampire movies, they try to make you feel bad for the kind of sexual innuendo that goes into what a vampire is, and this one leans into it and doesn't necessarily say what's wrong or right. You know what I mean? They're just all of the cast are like handsome dudes, traditionally handsome.
They were
dudes.
all icons at the time.
Yeah, yes,
all of them. Yeah.
Even Antonio, he wasn't so well known in the States, obviously, you know what I mean? But he was still a good-looking dude.
Was this before or after 4 Rooms for Antonio?
Oh
no, this was before.
Yes, because I don't think he was.
Yeah.
He had made it over.
That's right, because of
This one actually, so the positive reception for his character Armand opened all these doors for him where he could actually ask for more money for roles in the States.
Yeah, because he played a very pivotal, like, convincing role in the movie. I remember watching an interview that he did after the movie, and he was saying when he was in Japan, certain parts, people would remember him as the vampire with the long nails and shit like that, so he definitely had an impact for that role, so it did really help him. I love his character. Armand is like, I was talking to Wesley about this earlier, but if it wasn't for Armand, he let a lot of shit slide, but he also helped out Louis a lot too, and he knew he was like the vampire, like he was the perfect vampire. He was an emotional vampire. So
he has, how do you say, like, empathy for humans. You know what I mean? He doesn't Louis never forgets where he came from.
And that's his gift, the dark gift.
Somewhat like Blade, you could say.
Yeah. Especially because he lost everything before he was, a vampire. He had everything and he lost everything.
I think he was on the verge of suicide.
Yeah, right? He didn't really care. After he lost his family, he was just out fucking drinking, playing poker, and trying to.
Well, that in the opening, like the first 10 minutes, he gets with a prostitute, and knowing that he said his plan was to get killed that night with the prostitute because he knew he was going to get killed, and Lestat saves him.
Pretty much,
he gives him the option basically to die, in an alley somewhere, or or become a vampire.
When I first saw